Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Superior Adventurers Guild. My name's Dave, your humble dungeon master, and we are back for a Playtesters game. Very excited to tell you all about what we've got going on tonight. We really appreciate you being here with us. I'm looking at the chat, and I'm already getting excited because I can see Bleak Season in there is looking to get weird. So kudos to Bleak. And thanks for everybody for being here. I'm going to transition here over to my players because these are the folks that are going to have the fun and get it done. My friends, welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. Thanks for being here. You beautiful, beautiful people. Thanks everyone for being here. As I said, I want to go around the table. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about what things you have going on, if you've got anything you want to plug, and then give us a little taste for who you are playing in this two-shot playtest adventure. Let's go ahead and start with Vamp Wickman.
Hey everybody, Chad here, Vamp Wickman. What I have going on is I got this two-shot going this week, and in a couple weeks, assuming I don't die and get kicked out, I got another two-shot coming up in a couple of weeks, a Monster Hunter two-shot, which will be a lot of fun. Also on the same channel. I'm on the channel a lot. I was just in one of Bleak Season's Shade Song game, which was fun. I didn't die. I could have, but I didn't die. I die a lot. Dave kills me a lot.
Bleak, we're going to have to talk about that later.
Yeah, besides that, I'm excited for March for GaryCon. Staff there. I'll be seeing a handful of people here. There, if anybody is going and you're thinking about being a game master, dungeon master, there's some great benefits to that, including parking, valet parking. There's some swag you can get if you DM a handful of hours. If you do 16, which is basically 1 day per day, you get increased swag. If you do 8, I believe you get a silver badge for the following year. There's lots of good stuff. If you have any questions, you're interested, if you're going, let me know, talk to me, and I can talk to the rest of the crew as well, and we can hook you up. But otherwise, I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Dave, for running this. Thank you, Dave, for killing us. I mean, for letting us all survive. And tonight, I'm playing Quentin P. Stonecrusher, Dwarven Wizard. And let me tell you, I drink a lot. I kill a lot, I think. Or maybe it was a drunk nightmare, I don't know, but you're going to see me casting all sorts of spells and hopefully saving the day, or maybe it was just a drunken rage, a bender, who knows. But I hope that we can survive this quest so I can increase my number of survivals on this channel, which right now is very low. Boy, also, I'm thirsty, so I got a small beverage.
Oh my God.
And when things get tough, the tough get cutting. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, careful with that
Tough
thing, man.
Hey, you gave me a magic weapon, and that's a magic weapon, but that's not the special weapon. The special weapon is my staff of snakes.
Oh my God. Ooh.
Hey, buddy. Snake. I've talked enough.
I think this is a good, this is a good moment to put our content warning in the chat. Check that out. We'll get back to it in a minute. Shelly, please take us away from that and introduce yourself.
I don't know how I can go after that.
I don't either.
Hi, I'm Shelly. I'm just fresh off of doing the Oops All Kobolds with Minnesota Muse, which was super fun, and like almost all of us lived, which was pretty great. Maybe we all lived. We don't know. Then this two-shot I've got, happening right now. And I also am in the monsters hunting in a couple weeks. So I'm looking forward to that too. Tonight I am playing Havis, who is a tabaxi. It's a Black Panther type appearance with just a little bit of white hair, wispy hair on the top. She'll be sure to tell you that just appeared after a rather frightening swamp adventure near her house ages ago. She's kind of a small tabaxi, probably about 5 feet tall. I think that's about all. Oh, she's got a flask too. She hits it every once in a while, but in no way, shape, or form as out of control as her buddy Quentin.
All right. So she likes to keep it in check. We'll see how that goes as things
Yeah.
heat up here.
She likes to keep it in check.
Let's bounce from there over to Aaron. Aaron, hello. Gesundheit.
Hello, sorry about that. Yes, Aaron, you can find me on Instagram at Complete Diagram Studios. I make various nerdy stuff, dice boxes. I just finished making this one. It's held with magnets. Got some gold on there.
Wow,
And
that's sweet.
little dice box to hold out, and fun things, other dice. And they're all homemade and made from like recycled wood material. It's what happens when you have a garage full of loose wood and nothing to use it with. And oh yeah, so far my favorite one I made. There we go.
That's great.
Like that, and then it goes whoop. Ooh.
That's cool.
No copyright
Cool.
infringement intended, But yeah, and it's all custom made. Just hit me up on there if you want something, and I'll be glad to. We'll talk. We'll find. We'll figure something out. And tonight. Oh, and through this is my officially, second thing I've been on stream with the guild. I was also in the Bleak Seasons shade song there with Vamp. It was a lot of fun, and kind of caught the online gaming streaming bug. So I'm
Nice.
on here, and we'll see what else I end up on at some point in the future. I will be playing tonight and next time Roslyn, a half-elf paladin, Oath of the Watchers. We are here to keep an eye on everything and try not to allow anything else to, cause any problems. Hanging out with the group here to just kind of keep an eye on things. And unlike Quentin and Havis, I am not a drinker, but I tolerate them for the time being.
It's a lot to tolerate. Poor guy.
True.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Aaron. Appreciate it. Good to see you back. Let's jump over to Tim Flan Blackmore. Hello.
I'm Tim. You can find me at on Twitter as Flan Blackmore. I'm just shouting out Dead Channel Studios. They have a Kingdom Builder project that's going on that's pretty sweet for 5e. Also, Adventurous Link Productions, New of Arden, which will be on this channel very soon here. I am grateful and thankful to Ty, Dungeon Master Ty, for the opportunity to be on the ground floor of that game. I was playtesting it way back when we were just figuring stuff out. It's great stuff. I will be playing the Furbolg Ranger. The name's Joven, and he's just a big kind of rangy ranger, and he talks like this. And it's going to be a work of patience to do his voice.
And we've added an extra hour of gameplay just to accommodate his pace of dialogue. I'm just kidding. We're going to have to jam his dialogue in there in 3 hours, Tim.
Okay, I'll work
Glad
on it.
to have you back, man. Very, very excited that you're here. So we are doing a playtest. We've done this before. It's been a little while, but CZ RPG Publishing is a big supporter of the channel. They've been providing us with things to give away to folks during our streams, our Greyhawk streams. So we're really excited that they have reached out to us again with some brand new content that hasn't even been published yet. In fact, while I was prepping for this, they were editing the document in real time, which was made a little bit of a challenge, but it was really fun to see. And I got to kind of put a couple of comments in to help out too, hopefully, or muddy the waters, depending on your perspective on that one. But super grateful that we have the opportunity to do this. I think it's gonna be really fun. It's definitely fits the sort of tone of the season. So we're going to be playing the Skull Fort, and we'll see just how far our heroes make it. This is going to be scary, I think. So thank you all for being part of this. Really appreciate it. As always, if you want to support the channel, please consider following, is that what it is? Or subscribing. All those things that help us out. It allows us to bring in more games, bring in more content, and play with more people, and we really appreciate that. You can, in fact, influence the game by cheering bits, if you have them, to give a player or the GM a bit of advantage. So we get an advantage point to use during the game, which can be very helpful in surviving deadly encounters. So please consider that. And let's see what else. I want to give some shout outs to our production team at Guild Superior. I'm talking about Bleak and Miko and Andy and Ashley for helping to expand the number of games that we're able to play each week. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up. A lot of the folks who play with us have been selected or have been recruited, I guess, through our Discord channel. So if you are on Discord and you are interested in getting involved with some of the games that we're playing, I'll put a link in there. Hey, Bleak, thanks for the advantages. Each player, please jot down that you have an advantage from the Bleak season. Much appreciated. Oh, thank you for the subs. Really appreciate that as well. Hey, Scott, good to see you. Wily Hobbits in the house. Definitely check out Scott's podcast, which has a couple of new episodes coming up, the Greyhawk podcast. I'll put a link in there in just a second, Scott. Anyhow, please get involved and hang out with us. We like hanging out in the chat. All right, I got sidetracked. Oh, a couple other things. Monday, tomorrow, we've got a very special Edgar Allan Poe inspired two-shot called Vassin. Bleak Season's going to be running that. We've got a hype train going, and I always get super flustered when that happens. It just blows my mind. Thank you guys for that. So check in Monday. Really spooky, really fun. We've got an awesome cast of people that are playing in that game. And of course, with Bleak Season in the Game Master's chair, anything is possible. Anything and everything, I would say. Tuesday, we go back to Greyhawk in our Heroes of Greyhawk game. And then Thursday, we're back with the Shade Song, part 2 of our two-shot, 2 for the Rope, which is I get to play in with a couple of really fun people, including Eversalt and WikiVA and MJ Russell and Bleak, of course. So looking forward to getting back into that. All right. I think that's all. That's a lot of things to talk about. Let's jump into this game. Let's set the stage, as it were. Let me get some tunes going here. There we go. All right, my friends. So our story begins in the Flanness. I should mention that I set this adventure in Greyhawk. This is kind of the cool thing about CZRPG is you can basically set it wherever you want to set it. That's the kind of content they make. It's really easy to drop into your campaign. So we are back in the Flanness within the free lands of Sunndi, where Sundian forces prepare for war against the Malachite throne to the north while defending against a bullywug incursion to the south, where the vast swamp lies along their southern border. Our story focuses in on a small region of the Hestmarken. Now, let me see if I can bring this up here. I'll bring up a map of the Flanness. Now, of course, everybody knows this is Anna B. Meyer's Greyhawk map. I'm going to zoom in over here on the east coast of the Flanness. There we go, Sunndi. So, as we zoom in more and more, you have been sent to the Hestmarken, where rumors have surfaced of a powerful evil. There it is. A powerful evil that has awoken in the mountains. Our heroes have been sent there traveling by ship first to Dullstrand, which is to the south here, and then on to the small port town of Dracot, and that is not on this map, but I am sort of placing it right in this little notch, right in here along this river. Now, your benefactors, my friends, have outfitted you handsomely and pledged vast riches should you return with the evil vanquished and artifacts recovered. Your handler, a noble named Ricario Orso, has hired you to seek information in Dracot and determine if the rumors are true. So, if they are, you are to locate the artifact, vanquish the evil, and thwart the power's devious plans of domination at Sunndi's eastern flank. So we're going to join our heroes now at the port of Dracot, a small town on the narrow coastline, following between the Hestmark Highlands and to the west and the tumultuous Arity Sea to the east. The sun has set below the horizon as the ship is now moored, and we have a few moments as you wait to disembark from the ship. The crew is preparing a plank for you, and you look upon this space, my friends. You have a view of this small port town. As you wait for this to disembark, what do you do?
Well, Joven is fiddling with one of the things on the pier that he found. Looks like it could have been a fisherman's lantern, and it kind of falls apart in his hands, and he just kind of sets it back down on the pier and acts as though nothing happened.
I don't think the salty air is good for the parts. It makes everything very brittle.
But it smells nice.
It does smell nice. It smells much nicer than the pile of vomit I left. I don't do very well on the boat. I'm really glad to be off.
If anything, that pile of vomit you left on the boat improved the smell. We've been on there way too long. I'm just glad to be getting onto dry land.
I tried my best to drink to add to that vomit, so it wasn't just you. But I didn't have enough with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I am
that,
regretting mentioning the vomit.
please, enough with the vomit talk. Razlin's gonna kind of walk over to the edge of the boat and just be like,
The sea was a bit tumultuous on the voyage here, so it's there's no surprise that there might be some stomachs upset along the way.
I'm confident in our victory. The only thing I hope is I don't black out during it, like I have before. Man, I would like to also tell the story, because I tell you what, Jovan, when you tell the story of the stuff we did, it's like it was the first time, man.
Havis is gonna go up to kind of right behind Rosalind and make a retching noise. See if she can get him to vomit, because she doesn't want to. Between the two of them, she doesn't want to be the only one of them that's thrown up.
Give us a performance check.
Okay. $16.
do you want a con saving throw? What do you want
sure,
from that?
Give us a con save.
I'm gonna use minor illusion to make it sound like she throws up real good, because
all right,
I see what's going on.
Make it with disadvantage, please. This is so mean, you guys.
We make an excellent team, Quentin.
I guess.
Dirty 20.
Oh. You a little bit of like bile and acid comes up, but you push it back down. And just about that time, the gangplank is lowered, and you are able to leave the deck of the ship. As you walk down onto the docks, you can still smell that sort of sea air coming in that doesn't help with the vomit talk, but nevertheless, you put the ocean behind you and you step onto the stone roadway in front of the buildings. You look about, and that's when you hear a scream erupt from one of the buildings. The streets empty out. People who have been walking start to run. They're fleeing in all directions. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Just so everybody knows, if you're within 10 feet of me, you get to add. Let me double check here real quick. Where is it? Hooray! Aura of the Sentinel. We're all alert and not incapacitated, so anybody within 10 feet of me gets a +3 to initiative.
I'll let you decide. I'll let you guys decide if you're within 10 feet of Raslin to get the bonus.
I definitely am, because I'm still trying to get him to, working on it. So
I was there with my magic.
I think Joven just left them. He was like, why are you guys messing around? And just kind of, he might be just outside of that aura.
All right, so go ahead and give me some initiative rolls. Let's hear if you have 25 to 20.
23.
Ooh, very nice. Quentin. 15 to 20.
15.
Go ahead. 15.
18.
Okay, 18 for Joven. And 15 for Havis. And how about Raslin?
13.
Okay. All right. So as you hear this shout, people start to scatter. A barrel goes rolling past you on the cobblestone streets. This young man goes howling past you, screaming his head off. Ah! It's here! Running off into the distance. The source of their panic quickly becomes apparent before you. Coming around the corner, looming, is this gaunt and terrible creature. Its necrotic skin peeling away from exposed flesh, guts and bones, long jagged claws pierce through its fingertips like knives, while long pointed protuberances kind of erupt from its shoulders. The yellow, blood-stained eyes of something that was clearly once human stare deep into you, now hollow and empty, while a long, slathering tongue, oh, that's the worst part, hangs limp from its exposed, jawless throat. Upon the ground now, taking note, you see that there are two villagers that are laying in pools of blood, dead. One, as you can see, it's laying on his back, a throat severed. The other one's torso has been almost ripped in half as it lays in some weird position that's unnatural at best. This thing comes around the corner, and you, Quentin, are the first to see it. You do have the initiative, and let's see here if I can show you what this thing looks like. I will go over to the map. If you guys can see it on the stream, there is a creature that looks a lot like this. There's that slathering tongue.
Mm-mm.
This is called a dark vessel. And just so happens, I've got a map for this. You see this dark vessel coming around the corner. As I said, there's dead bodies in various places, people running and screaming. Quentin, what do you want to do? You're at the top of the order.
Do not like this ugly looking creature that's bothering me and my friends in this village. So I'm gonna yell, these aggressions will not stand, sir! And is it within 120 feet of me?
Yes, it is. Each one of these squares is 5 feet. So it's like coming around the corner is probably within, I would say it's more like right here. So that's 15 feet, I would say.
I'm gonna attempt to hit it with the chill touch. See if it works. May not. I'm gonna start it out like that.
All right.
I'm not drunk enough for this crap, but I'm sober enough for this crap. So I guess it works out, man.
I love it.
Attack.
All right, give us an attack.
16. To hit.
16 does hit. You hit it with a what is it? Chill blast or chill touch?
Chill touch.
Chill touch. Do you have to be up there to touch it?
No, it's 120 feet range on
Oh, that's nice.
It is necrotic damage. I do not know if he is immune to that.
You do not know that.
So I'm going to tell you what I rolled.
Yes, please.
That is 6 points of damage.
6 points. All right.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it hits, and it just kind of ripples. This essence of ice blue energy kind of ripples across its chest, and it just snarls at you, and it takes notice of you. Do you want to move or do anything else, Quentin? These guys can do some serious shit. I guess I should tell folks who might be watching, these are level 7 characters, so they're no slouches. They've seen some shit, but nothing quite like this.
Let's see. What do I have as a bonus action? I got nothing bonus action. Yeah, I'll move. I'm gonna move over here.
Okay. That brings us to Joven.
Right. Well, I don't like undead. I'm very sure I hate them. Right.
Just as a rule.
Just as you might say, they're my favorite to hate. So I'm gonna draw my bow, and we're gonna let fly an arrow
Okay.
in its general direction. And that is with his bonus. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will absolutely hit. Is this fired from what kind of a weapon?
This is my longbow.
Okay. And is this a magical weapon?
It is a +1 longbow.
Okay. Good to know. Go ahead and roll some damage, please.
I'm also really upset, so I'm gonna make it a dreadful strike.
Okay.
So
You
it's
seem
gonna take a
upset.
little psychic damage as well.
You guys are gonna have to talk Joven down after this.
Yeah. So that's 9 piercing
Okay.
and 3 psychic.
Wow. Okay.
And well, that felt good. I'm gonna shoot him again. That's more. That's 24.
That hits.
That's max damage on the pierce.
Whoa.
So that is a whole 14 piercing.
Wow. Nice.
And this map's in Owlbear, right?
Yes.
There we go. Now I can see it. Owlbear's finally working for me. All right, here we go.
Oh.
With that, I'm gonna. Well, look, Havis. I know you don't like getting up like in close or anything, so I'll just move to block it from getting to you.
All right. So Joven just unleashes 2 well-aimed shots from the longbow. This creature takes the 2 arrows in the chest, and then you can see its head shake as if it's fighting off that psychic energy, and it continues to sort of make as if it's going to keep lunging towards your group. That brings us to Havis.
Havis is gonna reach up and touch that white spot and go, oh my word, and try to run up kind of the house that we're close to there.
Mm-hmm.
Can she get up on the roof? She's got 20, she can climb 20 feet.
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
Okay.
I'm sure she has some sweet climbing abilities of some kind.
She 19.
Yeah, you can use your part of your movement to get up there. I would say it probably takes about 10 feet of movement to get up to it.
Okay. And then can I hold my action? I know our holy guy is gonna want to go in there and get that, and I know I do better when he's fighting somebody else. Could I hold my action until he engages the enemy?
Sure. So your action would be to fire an arrow or to?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fire
So
my short bow.
when he engages with the enemy, your fire will be triggered. Just make sure I don't forget.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. So And you can move your token to get up on the roof. Just go ahead and put your token wherever you want it to be. You should be able to grab it and move it around. And that brings us to Raslin.
Raslin watches as Joven fires some shots and goes, "Good, I'll take care of it from here." Watches Havas get up into position. Probably something they've done multiple times before, where Havas will kind of take the above ground and play Overwatch up there and watch over us. Play Overwatch, sorry. And Raslin draws their long sword out, pulls their shield up, kind of holds them together, and will walk the 15 feet right up to, or 15 or so feet, however it is, right up into its face. He'll stare at it in its undead eyes and go, "It is time for you to leave." And will swing their longsword. Hold on 1 second. It does not work. There we go. Yeah, swing their longsword right into him. 18 to hit.
18 is going to hit, yep.
All right, so swing at one hand, just gonna hit him once, just with the longsword to begin with. So that is, oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that's 6 damage on that,
Okay.
and then
You
this
guys
is
are
a big undead
powerhouses.
thing, right? Yeah, it's a big
You think so? You definitely think so.
All right.
You've never seen anything that looks anything like this before.
And then they're gonna reel their arm back again, and as they're reeling back, kind of look behind their shoulder back at their party members, and just kind of give one of these little, and swing super hard to hit him again. And that is a so close. No, that'll definitely hit. It's a 22.
Yeah, that will definitely hit.
They're gonna hit with the longsword and a let's just say we'll start with a single level divine smite.
Ooh, okay.
So that'll be for the sword damage again. Okay, I gotta quit rolling electronically. So that's 6 damage on there plus the divine smite. So this will basically tell us if it's actually undead or not.
I'm fairly certain it is.
This is
I
the
feel like the
litmus
missing
test
of
right
the
here.
throat would be.
It was 1, so divine smite will be 2d8,
Oh, wow.
or it'll be 3d8 if it is undead. So I'll roll 2d8 quick.
Go ahead and roll that third
So-
one just for the heck of it.
That's what I figured. So that's 5 plus. I am rolling like garbage today. So 6 radiant damage on top of the
Ooh.
12 total sword damage to
Yeah,
it.
you hack at it with your sword swings, and in that second one, you channel divine energy of your god into it. You see this eruption of, I'm guessing it's radiant energy, just explode and shine this light, almost like a mini supernova for just a moment, and then it kind of retracts in. Everybody who's running through the streets shields their eyes from it. Of course, the 4 of you have seen this type of attack before, having worked with each other for quite some time. And this thing recoils. Parts of it are falling off onto the street and like flapping on the ground. Anything else from Raslin? Do you want to move? Or you use 15 feet of your movement, I think, to get there.
Yeah, I think what Raslin's going to do is kind of take a defensive, put themselves in between it and, the less armored members of the party to kind of try to block it. But so no, they're not going to move. They're just going to stand right there and, try to take some hits.
Okay, yeah, you're up close enough where you can see that this thing is not doing well. You guys have come in strong, coming off the ship and just coming in swinging.
Havas take her shot.
Yep.
Okay.
Take your shot.
16. That
That
hits,
will
right?
hit. Yep,
Okay, and then could I take my sneak attack damage too? Because
absolutely.
I would have done that before he,
Yeah.
got out of the 5.
Yep.
Right,
Sneak
so
attack
there's
damage would definitely apply.
There's the regular damage, and then I think that was 11, and then sneak attack is 46,
Wow.
which is
Rogue
15 more. So what was that?
26.
26? Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, it looks
the
like
roof.
it's about ready to fall over. People are screaming in the distance as all this is happening.
Bonus action hide.
Well, you don't have a bonus action yet. It definitely knows where you were
Okay.
from that shot, because it's not quite your turn. That was your reaction, basically. It is actually going to get an opportunity to attack, which is blowing my mind. I thought you guys would kill this thing right away with all of that damage you just put out. I think you just did over 70 points of damage in the first round, so not too shabby. So what happens as this thing is starting to like topple, it's going to lash out at Razlin, but as it does, Razlin, you see behind it this specter sort of like emanate out of its back and come in. It is going to float your way. Let's see. Let me see here.
What is this?
What's your passive perception, Joven?
Oh, it's 14.
Okay. You don't notice this, but you might.
Damn.
You, as the player, will probably notice it. And Havis, what's your passive perception?
16.
Okay, so you don't notice this either, but these specters sort of like appear almost like static electricity. And so first we'll start with the brute here. Let's just take a look at this thing. Look at that nasty. That's disgusting.
Goodness.
CZRPG, what have you done?
You killed us all.
Yep. Okay, so this thing is going to make 2 claw attacks at Razlin. The first one is a dirty 20 to hit. I don't know what your armor class is.
That hits.
So that will be 7 slashing damage. Second claw attack, that's going to be even more for 9 slashing damage. And then one of these pinchers, look at these things. One of these long pinchers is going to come down and try to stab you. That's a 21.
Yeah, that hits.
That's this. So that's an additional 7 piercing plus 3 slashing damage. Now, yeah, that's a lot. These things are nasty. The specter comes up to you and reaches out and kind of touches you and is going to try to draw some life energy from you. So it's going to try to hit you first. Does a 16 hit?
16 does not hit.
Okay, it misses you. Luckily, you see it coming as you take these massive hits from the dark vessel, the specter that swings around the side. You're able to step out of the way. Joven, the specter behind you is going to reach out and touch you on the shoulder and go for a life drain. That's cocked. That's not great. That's only a 16.
That hits.
Oh no! Give me a con save. And 8.
19.
Okay, yeah, you definitely save the con challenge, but you do take 10 necrotic damage as you feel it. You didn't see this thing behind you, but you feel its touch. It's kind of cold, and then you can see necrotic energy ripple across your chest, and it kind of like starts to choke you almost. And then the one behind you, Havis, is going to do the same thing. It's going to try to reach out and life drain you. That's only a 14, though. I don't think that hits, does it?
That's my armor class.
At the last second. Oh, it does? If it meets, it beats. Shit. Okay. I need a con save from you, please.
Ooh, 22.
Yeah, you're fine. You feel that energy too. You do take 11 necrotic damage. You feel this kind of choking sensation as if the air is being pulled out of your chest. And that is the end of their turn. It comes back to Quentin. So Quentin, you would see the creature like kind of like flailing around with its pinchers and its claws, and you see the one specter that just tried to attack Razlin. You probably don't see the other two yet unless you specifically look for them.
Well, I see all this undead crap in front of us, and I don't like when my buddy is surrounded by undead. That's not cool. So I'm gonna yell out, "Prepare for some dwarven justice to be doled out!" Except I'm not actually gonna attack, like use an attack spell, because it will be through me that I cast haste on Razlin, because I want to see this man move like lightning. I want to see him like a blur of death, because I saw him just do a lot of damage, and that felt good. I mean, I was like cheering. I was like, yeah, oh, I'm in this. Then I took a swig.
Oh, awesome. Give us, so that affects Razlin. Razlin, you are now hasted. Big shout out to Time Lord's wife. Thank you so much for the raid. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you're not following Kayla, please do. I'll put their their Twitch URL in there. Thank you so much, Kayla. All right, so you're hasted, Razlin. Anything else from Quentin? Do you want to move or anything, or look around, see what else is going on?
I will move closer to my friends to try to get a look, see what's going on. So I'll get closer to Razlin.
Okay. I would say at that point you can probably see not only the specter next to Razlin, but you can see the specter that's behind your friend Joven as well.
Great.
And that brings us to Joven.
Well, that ain't neighborly. I don't rightly like being touched when it ain't wanted.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna Misty step my way. Bonus action Misty step. Would you say that's about 30 feet?
Are you up on top of the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. That works.
All right, so he'll just Misty step up there, pop up. So he can see the specters now?
Yeah, as you kind of turn and look back, you can clock the specter that you just kind of Misty stepped away from. You can see the one that's attacking Razlin, and then as you scan back to take note of Havis, you can see that there's one behind Havis as well.
Right. We'll do the first shot at the one on Havis. And we'll use Dreadful Strike on it in case we hit. I'm thinking 24.
Just barely, yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Jeez. The damage dice today. Oof.
Pretty gnarly, huh?
13 piercing
Ooh.
and 4 psychic.
So 17 total. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, your arrow just flies across Havis. You see the arrow coming. You can hear almost the bowstring from your companion, and you just kind of duck out of the way as it goes right into the specter behind you, and it just howls and screeches.
Did that bring it down?
It didn't bring it down.
Okay. Well, then we'll fire another shot at it. Damn things. Oh, that might be a little closer. 17.
That still hits.
Okay. No dreadful on this one. But again, that is 12 piercing.
Yeah, as your second shot hits it, it just sort of evaporates into thin air and disappears.
Well, right. And then he'll just kind of spit over the edge of the roof.
All right. Havis, you look behind you and that specter is gone.
I saw Joven hit, so I will I'll do kind of a graceful like bow at him and ready for another shot at the big juicy guy down on the ground.
Okay.
That is a 26.
That just barely hits.
Whew, close one. Okay. And I still get sneak attack, right? He's still
Yeah, for sure you get
doing the
sneak
battle?
attack.
Okay.
Yep. You've got allies within 5 feet of it engaged in combat, so that would definitely apply.
Okay. There's the regular damage 8 and then sneak attack 13. So 21. 8
Havis,
plus
how
13.
do you want to kill this creature?
Ooh. I'll let loose the arrow. I'll drop to the ground, like with my hand back, kind of in a hero looking, leaning back on the rooftop kind of way, and just watch as it just goes in right past my people. And then when they look back, I'll go.
I love that. I'm thinking
if
of
they
like
wonder where the arrow came from.
I'm almost thinking of like one of those Sam Raimi classic shots where it follows the POV of the arrow as it kind of like weaves through all of your companions and then
For
hits
sure.
it like right in the grizzled face. Yeah, and drops to the ground, just hits the ground. And then it stops. Do you want to do anything? You want to move at all, Havis, or do you like your
No, but I
position?
will bonus action hide.
Okay, roll a stealth check, please.
$27.
Okay, you're pretty well hidden up there on the roof. I like it.
And I'll pet my fear hawk again.
Nice. Razlin, you watch as this creature drops in front of you, this big behemoth of weird amalgamation of body parts, and then you look over and you can see that specter just kind of...
All right. Are those wraith things still there?
Yeah, that's the specter. Yep.
Okay. Raslin looks up at Havis and just gives one of these like turns around and so they're hasted. So they're just gonna take a couple swings at the one right in front of them, right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was all ready to do some crazy stuff, but there's just one standing right there. So let me pull this up here. So yeah, they're just gonna swing the longsword at him.
Okay.
Roll 16 plus 8, 24 to hit.
Yep, that hits. And this is a magical longsword, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Give me some damage.
8 damage on that swing.
Okay.
And then swing again at it. And that's 15 plus 8.
Mm-hmm. Hits.
We're just going to do a single level divine smite on that.
Okay.
So that'll be the 1d8 plus the 3d6, right? Or the 3d8 for this divine smite. Let me check here quick.
3d8. Yeah.
3d8. Okay, so 4d8 plus 5. Roll. It's a lot of 2s. Wow.
That's all right. They add up.
18 damage on that one.
Yeah, with that, the specter in front of you disappears.
And then with the haste, I'm going to move over to this one here and take some swings at her.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually they're gonna kind of put their shield back and swing double-handed at them at this one. Get a little extra power. So, 15 plus 8.
Yeah, that hits.
Yep. 11
Okay.
on that one. Still there?
Yep.
Okay, then we'll do the swing at it again. The wrong one. Hold on. Oh, that's good. And 17 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Cool. And we'll throw that smite on there again. So it's that's better. 24, 29 damage.
Holy shit. Yep. As you crush this thing with the second hit, it just disappears as if it's blown away in the cool coastal breeze. And with that, you look upon, breathing heavy, feeling now the exhaustion of the haste starting to take over. You find yourself out of initiative.
We kicked their ass! Yeah!
Raslin just kind of holds her sword, takes a knee, and just is like, and just not quite falling asleep, but just kind of taking a knee right where they're standing, and just kind of trying to catch their breath, all extra hasted.
Havis is going to look around and see if what else is going on in this town, if more are coming, or if there's any weird noises, any of that.
Yeah, give us a perception check while you're up there.
Okay.
Hey, Havis, you got bird's nest with some eggs in it just up that little crease up there. Be good for some, late night snack.
Did you want me to grab them for you?
Yeah, it'd be great.
All right, I grab them, and it looks like I got 24 on perception.
24. Okay, yeah, you have a great perch up there. You look about, you can see the eggs right away in the nest. I didn't even notice those were up there on the map, so nice work. You look over and you can see that there are people now opening up shutters and kind of peeking out of some of the buildings. And one of the doors on a nearby building opens up, and there's a couple of men that walk out. And tentatively, hesitantly, they kind of look to see what's going on, looking about, and they're starting to make their way over to you. They'll probably be over to you in just a couple of seconds. You've got some time to react if you want to, but there's a group of men coming your way.
There are incoming, but they do not look like these, I'll say as I'm putting the eggs gently into my pack for later.
Can I make an Arcana check on what we just fought?
Sure. Yeah, please do. You go down to examine it. Do this for me so you have an Arcana check. Hold on to that. Roll a medicine check first.
Wow. 19 on the medicine check.
Okay, so
no bonuses.
First of all, you look at this creature and it is a strange, like I mentioned, amalgamation of different body parts, stringy limbs, multiple limbs, sort of like protrusions coming out of areas that don't make sense, almost like bony, like growths. And it's missing a jaw. It's got this long, leathery tongue that's now just kind of flapped off to the side. And then what was your Arcana check?
Natural 20 for a 26. It's all downhill from here.
Holy shit. Okay.
You've peaked.
Turn up those net 20s early,
I like it.
I take a big swig because let's just going down.
So, what was your intention with the Arcana check? Just have you noticed or heard of anything about these types of creatures before, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like the specters and stuff. If I had any idea what kind of thing that was.
So you do have knowledge from your training as a wizard and your arcane studies of undead creatures that are oftentimes brought back in ways to serve some type of master. They are called upon. So, I just saw your message about the advantages. Thank you. They are often called upon and then invoked to do the bidding of necromancers, evil wizards, You've even heard of liches having taken control of whole populations of creatures and brought them back from the dead. So you do have some knowledge of these types of things happening. This creature that lays before you, this heap of flesh, and it doesn't make sense biologically or even from an arcane perspective. You've never heard of anything like this. Dark wizardry, of course.
But at the moment, I'm a share Jovan's hate for it. You seem like a dick.
As you say that, wait, Razlin, did you have something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was gonna wonder. Being a Oath of Watchers, I basically trained to defend against things like this. I was gonna say, if there was any way I could help Quentin with this, but he did roll a nat 20, so I'm assuming, would I know anything other than what Quentin knew, or is that just kind of, the same kind of stuff that I would know?
You can give me a roll as well. Give me a Arcana or History check from your background.
So my favorite enemy gives me an advantage on an intelligence check to remember anything about an undead.
Okay.
So
to remember something.
I just got a 15. Probably
15?
still trying to catch my breath at this point.
Yeah, you would probably get about the same information that your wizard friend got, more or less. Nothing specific. And go ahead and roll, Joven, for your intelligence recall check.
Well, I rolled a nat 1 on the first one and a 15 on the second one. So
okay, so that much better. What the thing is that you don't remember anything about this creature because you've never seen this before. In fact, it's extremely troubling, with your ability to recall different creatures that you've encountered over the years of adventuring. You've seen some weird stuff before, but you've never seen anything like this before. And it's troubling to you. You look about, you can see that there are dead villagers laying in the street. At first you only notice 2, but it looks like there's a couple more of them laying there. And right around this time, there is a group of villagers led by an individual who is got gray hair, lines on his face, a bushy white beard, and he is dressed in robes. He looks as if he's coming forward, having some level of dignity in the way that he presents himself. I'm going to put an image of this guy up on the stream for you guys to take a look at. But he also looks very deferential to you at the same time. It's kind of a weird combination, and he seems a little uncomfortable. He says, adventurers, thank you for putting down the beast. This is very fortuitous for the community. There are dead here. And he turns and he says, please cover them with something. We must honor them and get them off the streets. Hello. I am the elder, the town elder. My name is Gump Worsley. I thank you very kindly for coming and helping us. Your timing was fantastic.
Is this the first time this has happened since we got here?
Please.
Just now?
We should have these discussions in my home. If I could invite you to join me for some warm beverages and some food. You look hungry and you've just arrived. Please, this tragedy and these terrible circumstances do not allow us to forget our manners. Please.
Well, we do have some eggs, so.
Okay. Well then, eggs it is.
Raslin size and kind of puts themselves in between kind of the rest of the party because, they're a little, at least as far as Raslin's, probably a little more rough and tumble. And so Raslin kind of puts his sword away. He goes, yes, please, please lead the way, sir. Lead the way. And it just kind of was like, okay, let's do this.
Lucky for you, I woke up with my murder beard on today. Huzzah! Sir, Gump, yes.
Thank you. Right this way. And he guides you into what appears to be a very modest home. It's clean. He has some knickknacks and trinkets, decorating the place. So it's not Spartan, but it's nothing fancy. As the town elder, you've been to some homes of leaders and cities who it's very opulent and gaudy. This man is very much sort of a man of the people, and you can tell that he's comes from a fishing background. As you see, like his fishing poles are up against the wall, and he's got some nets. It looks like he was mending nets prior to this incident that happened, and he sits you all down, and he brings out a bottle of wine and pours wine for everybody. And his husband starts to cook up some eggs and some meats, like some bacon for you. It starts to sizzle on a stove on an open fire, and it smells really good in the space. And you're starting to get a sense of kind of coming down off of the high of the battle. And he describes to you how your question that you asked Havis about, has this happened before? He talks to you about how there have been, in the recent months, probably within the last year, these incidents around the fringes of the mountains in this region where people have been getting abducted, largely thought to be by goblins, but there have been reported sightings of creatures of unknown origin and of descriptions that boggled the mind until tonight, when they saw this creature and realized that the rumors were true. There was a group of people who were taken previous to your arrival to the north, and he believes that to the north lies potentially the source of whatever evil it is that has plagued these towns along the coast.
Well, if that thing came from the north, I can track it.
Yes, where have you come from?
Oh, where were we again?
Well, we have spent a bit of time on the boat.
Right.
Being, yeah, I spent a lot of my time being sick.
Just came from Dulstrin.
Oh, that's right.
The dwarf always remembers things.
It is quite fortuitous that you arrived when you did. Thank you for that. What business do you come with to this faraway place? It is, we do not get visitors very often, seemingly more recently.
Well, we've been tasked to come here. We're supposed to meet with an Orso, Ricario Orso, I believe his name was, and supposed to meet up with him, and he had some work for us to do for him.
Actually, he's the one that sent you guys here.
Oh, that's right. He says, I wrote, sorry, it's been a really long boat ride.
It's been a long trip.
Also sent us here.
Yes, we were told there's some evil in the north, so we're here. You say it's north, we're told it's north. The royal we is going north.
It does
Right.
seem like they may be related, why we are here and what has just happened.
But Quentin, who's royal?
We're the royal we. It's not just a we. We're heroes.
Oh, Lord Dwarf, I did not know that I was in the presence of royalty.
Oh, hell, I didn't know either.
Not like that.
You can't
I'm
just be-
confused.
Yeah, no. He one big furball hand to the town elder, like, settle down. No, Quentin, what did we say about claiming titles and such?
No, it's not titles. I'm a dwarf. I talk like this, man.
I know, but these people, they don't know that.
You know, sometimes these people start to suss my giblets.
We
no
mean no.
offense.
No, you're fine. He's just normally like this.
Perhaps more wine.
We mean no offense either.
Yeah, no, we don't.
I would gladly take more wine.
He
Are
gets
those
out
eggs done?
Second bottle. The eggs come out on nice sort of like ceramic plates that have beautiful filigree detailing on them, and some nice like actual silver You can see he's like nervous now, thinking that perhaps he's dining with royalty. And he continues to talk to you about what's been happening in the region. And he says, there were 3 heroes, not unlike yourselves, that passed through just weeks ago on a very similar mission. I caught their names, Cassie, Ulgroth, and Janilla. They also sought out adventure to the north. This was long before the creature came, but there have been strange things. We guided them to the north, and we have not heard from them since.
Would we know those names at all?
You would not know those names. Nope.
Okay.
Cassie,
Well, perhaps-
Ulgroth, and Janilla.
Perhaps they have left breadcrumbs for us.
They might just be crumbs, you know.
They might be crumbs now. Yes, you are correct. I hope that is not the case, but they should have returned by now.
True.
I agree. We figured for them for dead.
Well, that means
Well,
you're
you would-
smart.
Did what they were going to do, then that creature would not have shown up to town.
Right.
Indeed. Do you intend then to seek out the source and vanquish it?
What do you know of this source? Do you know anything?
There is a mountain cave, but none of us have delved into it. To the north, approximately 5 or so hours travel, half days travel.
You see Quentin's eyes light up. Mountain! Yeah, buddy! Now we're talking.
What more we do
Okay.
not know. We have not delved into the mountain itself.
It's probably for the best. I suspect it is very, very dangerous for a non-hero type, such as yourself.
Yes. Well, you are welcome to stay here. I have 2 guest rooms. If you don't mind sharing, someone can sleep out here in this room, and whatever I can do to make your stay comfortable.
Rosalind, who's hurt pretty darn bad still, has probably been just trying not to drip blood and stuff onto the floor, goes, well, fellows, I don't know about you, but I'm claiming one of the beds, and goes to probably just which direction is it, sir?
Right here. And he gets up and he walks over and opens the door, and you can see inside just a very simple room, a single bed. It looks like it has some nice quilted bed covering on it. Looks very nice, very tasteful.
Rosalind walks in and says, good night, everyone, closes the door, and then they just hear the sound of a fully armored person just falling flat onto the bed. Didn't take anything, just crash. And they're asleep.
All right. How
We
about
are
the 3 of you?
Is there a
Shelley?
fireplace here?
Yes, there's a fireplace. It is crackling. There is a stack of wood next to it.
Havis will curl up in front of the fire and go to sleep.
You can take the other one, Quentin. I got my hammock.
I appreciate that. That's good. That's good.
Well, since I'm so tall, might as well just attach the hammock to both walls. So the the furball just slightly away from the fire to give Havis some space. Just big, long, lanky arms and legs sticking out of the hammock.
I
Is
love
this
that
place
scene.
made of stone by any chance?
It has a stone foundation, and then it has wooden walls and a wooden rooftop.
I'll use mold earth just to help with the hammock hanging since he's real big, just to make sure it's strong enough to hold him and not take the house down.
Nice.
That's a good call. You've probably seen that happen previously.
Experience.
Yeah. All right, so each of you drifts to sleep. Some of you wounded, but tending those wounds. The night goes relatively uninterrupted. Perhaps there's a bit of snoring that might wake one or more of you from the hammock. However, nothing that would interrupt what we like to call, in the parlance of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, a long rest. So each of you does achieve a long rest. So please go ahead and make that update to your character sheets. And I think what we'll do before we start the next morning in our journey north, we will take a quick 5-minute break. I think this is a good point to do that. I want to just make a huge shout out to the folks that are hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you so much for getting goofy with us. We really appreciate it. It's really fun for us to see you all there. Thanks for the raid, Time Lord's wife. Thanks for all the cheers and the support that you guys are giving us. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't followed our channel yet, please do. And if you're following, consider if you're able to subscribe into the channel and help us expand our games and play more games with friends and get more cool artwork and assets to help us craft some really cool stuff. We will be back in just 5 quick minutes, so stick with us. We'll see you shortly. Thanks, everybody. Hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're still here, we appreciate you very much. We are going to dive back into this adventure. So just as a quick recap, in case you're just joining us, our adventurers arrived in Greyhawk, which is a town on the Sunndi coast, of the eastern coast. And as they arrived, there was an attack on the village. They intervened, killed off a strange behemoth amalgamation creature with pinchers and a jawless maw and a big, long, gross tongue. That was sick. I blame CZRPG because we're playtesting their stuff. And anyways, you guys prevailed. You fought off this creature and its strange specter henchmen. You survived. The townsfolk came to you graciously, offered you food and drink. You ended up spending an evening with the town elder, a man by the name of Gump Worsley, and you have slept a very restful night. Probably more restful after exertion, but then also from the travels on the ship that you took to get to this port. The next morning you arise and you are able to have more food with Gump. You are able to gather some additional information. They do have gear if you should need to purchase any gear. We don't need to go through a shopping scenario, but you can look in the player's handbook, and if there's anything, any mundane equipment that makes sense, you have it. So don't worry about that. Plus you have your packs. I think a lot of you have explorers packs and that sort of thing, which has all kinds of goodies in it. So nevertheless, if there's something when we get to a point you're like, oh, I think I would have had that, just let me know and it's likely that you did. You set off from town, making your way north. Let's get a group survival check as you seek to navigate your way towards what Gump and other villagers that you spoke to described as a crack in the rock face where there is a entrance to some sort of underground subterranean labyrinth of tunnels that have been heretofore unexplored. I just wanted to use that word because I've never used it before.
It was pretty awesome.
Thank you.
17 for me.
Okay.
Great.
A 3. Okay.
Efficiency is
Budget's going down.
A little hungover this morning, Quentin?
Maybe. I stayed up late switching my spells a little bit. I'm a little red-eyed, tired.
It's a arcane
Raslin.
hangover.
Crick
Sorry,
in
what'd you
their
say?
neck from sleeping in their armor. They rolled a 7.
Okay. And what about Joven?
so that's a 28.
Okay. That's pretty good. Overall, you succeeded quite nicely with Joven and Havis kind of taking the lead while the other two recover from their late night. Probably Raslin being influenced a bit by the wounds that you had. Eventually, you find your way approaching these foothills, these kind of craggy outcroppings that guide you through this narrow canyon. Now, this whole time, Joven and Havis, you are following not only directions from the townfolk, but you're following a legitimate path. And given the fact that, Joven, you rolled so high, you pointed out, and right when Joven points it out, Havis, you can see it too, there are what appear to be goblin tracks throughout the area. They're pretty distinct. You've dealt with goblins before. It's not something that necessarily worries you. A small band of goblins you've dealt with in multiple different ways in the past. You've talked your way out of things. You've influenced them to do things for you, and you've fought them on numerous occasions. But there seem to be quite a few tracks. It's hard to gauge numbers, but more troubling are the large tracks of the creature that you fought and killed that appear to be coming in the opposite direction that you're going. So you're backtracking it towards the mountains. Eventually, you find the opening to the caverns, this tunnel entrance. And it is exactly what the townsfolk described. It's not really a carved or mined or stoneworked entrance at all. It's like a crack in the side of the mountain that then kind of goes in and disappears into darkness. Before you go inside, you look about and you can see that there are blood stains in the dirt. There are goblin pieces strewn about the entrance, old bones of goblins. There are like body parts that look to be maybe a week or two old. They've been picked over by scavengers, but there does appear to be some sort of a scene of carnage at the entrance to this tunnel. Before entering, what would you like to do?
Raslin's gonna draw their sword, walk up, and I'm gonna divine sense right there at the entrance of the cave. Just to know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet, and then sense if anything around us there is hollowed or not.
You definitely do not get a sense of hallowed ground or desecration. You get some essence, though faint, of undead, almost as if it's sort of focused as it comes at you down this narrow tunnel fissure. So you do pick up a little bit. It's not in an immediate vicinity to you, so it's not like threatening you right now, but you do get a sense that there's something undead inside this, in the darkness therein.
Friends,
Quentin's gonna take his transmuter stone, which is set to dark vision, and hand it to Jovan so he can also see in this darkness with us.
You always forget. And he just kind of touches his head and his eyes light up as he casts dark vision on himself.
All right, buddy. Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
put
not
it
your
back.
fault.
Yeah.
Does everybody have dark vision now? Tabaxis do, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's
Oh, yeah.
helpful.
60 feet.
Very nice.
Mine lasts for 8 hours, so we'll be all right.
Razlin, what did you want to
Go
say?
more than 8 hours. Just
No,
let me
I
know.
was just agreeing to have dark vision as well.
Okay. So you're preparing yourselves. Is there anything else you want to do before entering into this fissure?
I got one thing. I've been itching to try it. If you all don't mind.
The longer we can be outside, I think, the better.
All right. Well, it's only gonna be for a short amount of time, but we're in this mountainous place, and I like the mountains. And I'm gonna do primeval awareness,
Ooh.
and for a minute, I can sense whether any, just like the divine sense, but a little bit better. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead are present within up to 6 miles of where I
Oh.
stand.
Yeah, you get a strong sense of undead from within this tunnel, as if it's almost reaching out with its clawed undead hand to grab you, and you just get this tingling down the back of your spine. The hair kind of stands up on your neck.
Anything else within 6 miles?
I mean, no, most of it's coming straight down this fissure.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, that's weird. Usually I would have expected a dragon or something to be around here. Good caves. Oh well. Just some undead.
I
Shouldn't be a
cast
problem
mage
for you
armor.
guys. All right, mage armor's up. Okay. How long does the
hours.
primeval awareness last for? Just out of curiosity, is it instantaneous? Oh, for a minute. Okay.
It's a minute.
Okay.
I could spend more spell slots to make it longer, but
Do it.
no.
All right. Okay. So tell me, what's the marching order as you enter into this fissure? It's you have to be in a single file line. It's narrow. At some points it does widen out where you could maybe go, 2 people in a line, but for the most part it's a single file. So how would you like to go in terms of marching order?
Do you think I should go first? I
Well,
can sense stuff.
Yeah, you're quicker on your feet than I am. So yeah.
I am happy to go first.
Okay.
I was going to say either you or I.
Well, you kind of make a lot of noise there, Raslin. Just no
No, we're
offense.
not here to sneak. We're here to remove the undead from this plane of existence. So, if being a little noisy happens to happen, then I'm not exactly here to do it quietly.
No, I know. I just think it'd be better if they didn't know we were here before it was time to make them not here,
Yes, Jovan is wisely telling us. I think we want to know first.
When
Things are
we're
happening.
out here, I defer to your knowledge in these situations.
I do as well. I definitely defer to Jovan's knowledge. And I try to stand kind of in front of Raslin a little bit.
I differ even more.
I differ the most. Infinity.
Right. Oh, okay. I think if anything, Raslin, you ought to keep an eye on Quentin. Just in
Of
case,
course,
he gets in trouble.
of course, I will keep an eye on our friend. But first, and since Havis is going to go in ahead of us, allow me, Havis. Raslin walks over and pats Havis on the shoulder and casts protection from evil and good, since you're going to sneak in there.
I thank you
Good
for
for 10
that.
minutes, and it'll give you against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fiends, or undead, and they have to disadvantage you on attack rolls. You can't be charmed, frightened, possessed, that sort of thing. So,
And that's a
Pretend.
concentration spell, Razlin, correct?
it is.
Okay.
All right. So I think our order is Havis, and then Raslin, keeping an eye on Quentin, and I'll bring up the rear, make sure nothing sneaks up behind us.
Okay.
We will not advance in there until we get some sort of sign from you.
I will make my best bird noise. This is what it will sound like.
No. You see danger, wave. I'll send you a message. You can respond. We don't have to make noise.
You will not see me wave. You will see me wave, of course.
I will see you wave. I'm watching for a kitty wave. Man, I'm waiting all day for a kitty wave. That's great.
All right.
One of those luck kitties.
Right? Oh,
One white-tipped black paw.
this is going to be a great day.
Queen style.
That's so cute.
Okay.
Okay, so one by one, you enter into the fissure, making your way into the tunnels. The tunnels themselves are, again, they're rough in many places. As a dwarf, you would take note that they don't seem to have been worked by tool. Perhaps natural, perhaps supernatural. You're not sure necessarily, but definitely not worked by brethren or other dwarven clans that might be active in these areas.
Amateurs.
Possibly. So at the front of the order, Havis, I would like you to make basically a survival check. It's going to be sort of like your navigation as you go through. There are branching tunnels that go off in multiple directions. And we're not gonna put out a big map with all kinds of tunnels on it, but we'll just kind of work our way through it as you're trying to follow the tracks of the creature, which you can see came from this fissure. And so you're trying to follow those tracks and kind of stay on course. So you can roll, or I would assume you, since you're in the front, would roll a survival check for us.
All right. I rolled a 7.
Okay.
I'm.
Is that with your bonuses and everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure is. I don't have a ton of bonuses in survival, but yeah, there it's included.
So roll me a D8. Oh, go ahead, Joven.
Because I'm a natural explorer, it reads that my group can't become lost except by magical means.
Okay, that's good to know.
When we're in my favored terrain, which is mountain. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Inside mountains or like on top of mountains?
I'll leave that up to you. My favorite terrain is mountain.
I will defer more than everybody else to your judgment on that.
I mean,
More than
inside,
Havis.
outside of mountain.
No.
They're the same. It's all mountain.
Okay. Yeah, you as a furbolg have spelunked.
Right.
Okay. You're a spelunking kind of furbolg. I love it. You spent a lot of time with the dwarves, let's be honest.
Well,
We've had some magic weekends together.
he's not lying.
What was your D8, Havis?
7.
Okay. All right. So as you are making your way, immediately, you don't become lost, but you look down and you're like, shit, the tracks of this creature are gone. And actually you look down and there are very few tracks at all. You're in this narrow part of the tunnel. And so you can just kind of turn around and if you wanted to, you could let the person behind you, Raslin, know, or I don't know what you want to do, but you realize that you do not have eyes on the tracks.
I'm gonna kind of look up, so up and over Roslyn, and look to Jovan and say, I can't find the trail anymore. Can you come up for a second?
What? If it's not there, it's somewhere else, isn't it?
I might be missing something. It could be somewhere else. Do you suppose we should back up?
Well, I'm in the back, so let me look around where I'm at.
See, that is a very good idea. In fact,
Jovan,
the best idea I've heard.
What's your passive perception, Joven?
14.
you turn around to look and you can hear something coming from the tunnel. Everybody else is in front of you because you were traveling in one direction. You're turning around to look backwards and you can hear something coming. And around the corner, you can see, because of your dark vision that you imbued upon yourself, this creature not unlike the one that you fought in town. Just kind of like these pinchers kind of flailing. It's kind of scraping them against the ceiling and the walls. Kind of like Freddy Krueger. I don't remember which Nightmare on Elm Street it was, when he's walking down the hallway with his claws, just scraping. Just scraping across. And I need everybody to roll initiative. You guys are in a tight line. So really it's going to be, this is going to be tough. Let me set up the map here really quick.
Well, at least we're all within 10 feet of Raslin, so +3 to initiative.
Yep, make sure everybody has their +3.
Yep, that is good. So add your +3s, and I will get to you in just a second. I'm going to bring up a map here. Look at that. There you are. I'm going to move you into a narrow part here to sort of give us the vibe. So you would be here. Let's see. Havis was in front. So something like this. And the creature is, let's see. Here we go. Sorry about that. Taking me a minute. All right, so this guy is coming down the tunnel, scraping his claws, Joven. All right. Okay, that's better this time. All right, so 25 to 20, my friends. Nobody.
What did I 23.
Oh, okay.
With the +3 on it.
All right, so we've got.
Sorry, I completely forgot what I rolled.
All right, 15 to 20.
17.
Who has the higher dex score?
Dex of 16.
Yeah, you beat me. I got a 14 on Dex.
All right, so then we've got Quentin. Then we've got Raslin. And then we've got Joven at the end. Joven, what'd you get?
17. My camera and mic died real quick.
Okay, so you're actually before Quentin. Okay. Okay, so Havis, you unfortunately are on the far side. It's hard for you to tell what's going on, but you hear now the scraping as well. I would give, let's say, oh shit, Joven, I would give you an opportunity to, just like a reaction, to say something if you want. Just to alert your friends, Joven, if you wanted to.
Yeah. Here comes another one.
There we go. So Havis, you're up. What would you like to do?
Havis is looking, she's already looking back, I think, kind of at Joven a little bit, just to try to summon him up, or have him see what he was to see what he was able to ascertain back there. So I would, if I see it, I would try to take a shot.
You can try to take a shot. It's going to be really difficult to hit this thing from where you are. I would say that it probably has it probably has 3/4 cover, so that just adds to its AC. But you do have an advantage, at least one advantage that somebody gave you earlier.
I'll take it.
And
I'll take it now.
I'm looking at you, Bleak Season. Yeah, so it's got a higher AC because of that.
Is there a sneak attack option yet?
The creature is not quite within 5 feet of your companion yet.
Thankfully.
Yeah, you could hold your action if you wanted to again, or you could just fire.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay, and wait until.
Yeah, try to get a good shot in there.
Okay. All right, that sounds
I will
good.
be waiting for somebody to get within 5 feet is the actual thing.
Okay. Love it. That brings us to the creature. So, let me zoom out a little bit here. There we go. The creature is going to lunge forward. You can take your shot now, Havis,
Okay.
because it is now right up against Joven.
21. Does that
Yeah,
hit?
that hits.
Okay.
Again, your arrow just kind of like weaves its way, sort of Sam Raimi style, and hits this creature.
On all the heads. There's regular damage is 9
Okay.
plus.
When you say regular
Sneak
damage,
attack.
what do you mean by that? Oh, not the
Um,
sneak attack damage. Got
Yeah,
it.
Is this
Is this
and then
magical? Is this a magical weapon?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know.
So sneak attack damage is 12, not my best work. So 21.
21
Yeah.
damage total. Okay, very nice. Okay, yeah. You see this arrow come flying past your head, Joven, and it hits this thing right in the chest. This thing kind of looms over you a little bit, even though you're kind of a big dude. And it is coming in for a couple of attacks on you. It's going to make a couple claw attacks first. Actually, yeah, it's going to make 2 claw attacks. I'm going to use advantages because Vamp gave me the advantages. I don't know why you did that, but here they go. That's not great. That is a 15 to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
It does hit. Okay. So that's going to be 7 slashing damage. The second one, I'll use another advantage because I got him. Might as well use them. Oh, that's a lot better. So that hits with a 18.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only 6 slashing damage. But then one of the pinchers kind of comes down from below and tries to like skewer you in the chest. And I will use an advantage for that as well.
Everybody keeping track at home. That's 3 of 5.
That's 3 of them. Actually 6 because I got one from. Let's see. So who gave me that last one?
Whoever they are.
Yeah, someone who loves the DM.
Whatever
My
they
God, I can't find it. I'm so sorry.
Either way, Joven is soaking up half of them for you guys.
So here we go. That's gonna hit with a 19. So this is the D8. It's not great. So that is 6 piercing and 3 slashing damage. As you just get cut and stabbed with slashing and piercing damage from this creature as it has turned its vengeance upon you. And you also see, because CZRPG is just brutal, as a specter pops up behind you, Havis, and is going to try to reach out and touch you. I'm going to use my advantage on that last one. That's going to be a 16.
That hits.
Okay, life drain. 14. That is necrotic damage. I need a con save, please.
All right.
If you're within 10 feet of me, which I think you're right on the edge of 10 feet of me there, you get to add a +5 to all saving throws.
Whoa.
Nice.
Or a,
Yeah.
Okay, then it is a 24 to save.
Yeah, you push back the fear from this creature reaching out and touching you.
Did you say it was 14 necrotic damage?
I think I did. That's a
I
yeah.
think you did too. Okay.
That is their turn. Joven, you're up, and Quentin, you're next.
Well, all you hear from Joven is just a series of grunts as he is ripped asunder. Yeah,
Silver Red Fox Gaming, thank you. That's who it was. Silver Red Fox Gaming, thanks for that advantage.
yeah, sort of. So we're gonna.
Oh no, Joven is getting sad.
That I can see. Okay, so what can I see? Do you think I can see this square right here?
I think roll a perception check. Let's just see. Let's let the dice decide. 10 and above, you got it.
It was 17 plus.
Okay. On the die?
17 on the die.
Yeah, you can see that far ahead. You can see like over and through some of its body parts.
Okay, so we will misty step to there. So just kind of a silvery, misty sparkle, and he's behind it.
Nice.
With the bonus action. Right, and then he's gonna shoot it twice in the back.
Okay. Roll me some attacks, and really quick to just go back for a second, Havis, you are protected by protection from good and evil, I believe. So my attack should have been at disadvantage. So I'm going to roll again to see if I hit you or not. And that is that's only 13 to hit. I don't think that hits you, does it?
That misses.
Okay, so roll back that 14 points of damage.
I
forgot about
instantly
that.
regret trying to make you throw up yesterday on the boat.
All right, give me some attack rolls, Joven.
It's a dirty 20 and a 21.
They both hit. Yes, they do.
So nearly max damage on the first one that I'm doing Dreadful Strikes with. So that's 13 piercing, 4 psychic.
Okay.
And another 13 piercing.
Okay.
So
2 shots from the bow in its back. It just kind of shakes from the psychic damage that it takes, and it kind of looks back at you as if it's going to come for you next.
yeah, you're
anything
about
else
to
from
meet
you?
my friend. So have fun with that.
All right, Quentin.
All right, I see that this big guy up here he's got my friend Wrestling's about to whoop his ass. And Jovan just shot him real good, but Havis I don't feel safe like that. So I'm gonna look at that spirit down there, and I'm gonna yell, "Careful, man! There's a beverage here!" As I cast Tasha's mind whip at it.
Whoa.
And it's gotta make an intelligence save.
Oh my god. An intelligence save, you say?
I do.
Wow, I'm going to use an advantage on this. Intelligence save. All right. Not proficient, by the way. Spectre's not proficient in intelligence saves. Well, I rolled a natural 1, and then I rolled an 11. So it fails, I think. What's your DC?
DC of 14.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Vamp, you got an advantage for the Lebowski reference.
Thank you.
Don't encourage him, Bleak. God damn it.
Thank you. Hey, Dave.
You're over the line. Over the line.
That's just like your opinion, man.
There are rules here.
Hey, this hostility will not stand.
Yes.
Nice marmot.
Yes.
New information has come to light.
Oh, God. Stop us.
13.
Let's just do the whole movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do the whole thing.
13 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
It can't take reactions until the end of its next turn.
Okay.
And the next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of them.
Okay. All right, help me remember that when it comes around to their turn, if you would,
I
please.
will yell at you like you've never been yelled at
Well,
recently.
that might be much, but that's all right. All right, Raslin.
All right, you mind whip the big guy, right?
Nope, the Spectre.
The Spectre, okay. So, Raslin's gonna raise her sword and go charging towards the big guy and just scream, "You are out of your element!" And just start take a couple swings at him. Let's see how this works. I kind of want to save on the extra. 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Awesome. All right, so attack. Look, there we go. And that'll be 13 damage.
Okay.
And it is a magic weapon.
Okay.
And then gonna swing again. Oh, 18 plus 8, so that's definitely gonna hit.
That definitely hits. Yep.
And another 9 damage.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is teetering on dropping to the ground in front of you. Anything else from Raslin? Otherwise, it is. It goes back to the top of the order.
I think that'll be it.
All right, Havis.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Well, Havis is more afraid of the big guy. So she dodged, I guess, that last hit, and she's just gonna shoot at the big guy.
Okay. There's still some cover, so it's going to have a higher AC than it normally would, but let her rip.
Okay. Feel good about this. 19?
19 will hit.
Yes.
Nice shot.
All right.
Wow.
Another.
Expertly placed.
And this is. Wow. 11 regular damage and. Sorry. Sneak attack is. Not bad. 27 damage.
Wow, very nice. The arrow flies through Sam Raimi style and strikes it right in the head. And Joven, you just see the arrow pierce through the back of its skull as it just does one of these where it just lays back and hits the ground in front of you dead, not moving.
Could I disengage as a
As
bonus
a bonus action, yeah, I
with
think
the
as a...
You
specter
don't-
behind me?
You don't need to. You know from me casting this spell that it can't react.
It can't do one of those things, right?
No,
It can still.
it
It
can't
has no
react.
reaction.
On its turn, it gets to move, attack, or bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that I have hit it with some mental shakery.
Okay. Okay.
So you can just move.
But I don't know how to just move. I know how to disengage.
No, you can tumble right
you
by
can-
me.
You can disengage if you want to disengage. There's
oh,
nothing that
yeah.
says you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but
I know that Quentin just did the mental stuff, so I will just sashay over to Quentin, away from the specter.
All right, so yeah, you can move like past him. You can always move through an ally. You just can't occupy the same space as an ally when you end. So if you want to move further down the tunnel, go ahead and move your token.
I think that's
Wherever
what I'll
you're-
do, because if I need to take another shot, I just want to get a little distance. So I'm just gonna boop, go right there.
Okay. That brings us to the Spectre. And the Spectre, not knowing any better, is just going to move up and it's going to like try to attack, but just it's like held in place. It can't attack you, Quentin. And it is your turn. Or no, it's Joven's turn.
He's gonna stumble up and look down and can't quite see what's going on. He's just kind of bleeding all over the place. And he's gonna touch himself the right way and cure wounds.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that up. And then Quentin. This thing is teed up for you, pal.
boy, that's fun. So, can I cast Chill Touch on it from here?
That's a ranged attack, correct?
It is.
Normally it would be with a ranged attack. I think at this close it would be with disadvantage. but you can do it.
I got 2 advantages. Let's do it. Let's make
All
it
right.
even.
Make it an even roll, baby.
Yeah. Don't let me down, die.
I love the enthusiasm.
11 plus 6, 17.
17 is a hit. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, Silver Red Fox Gaming, thanks for the advantage earlier. Glad you're back. Roll me some sweet, sweet red-headed dwarven damage.
9 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah, you blast this thing with the energy, your arcane energy, and as you do so, it is completely evaporated into thin air as the
skeletal hand
glow
bites it in the face of chill touch. Yes.
The glow of it is gone. And we are out of initiative. I need Havis to roll a d6, please.
Quentin, I just wanted to give you the kill. 1.
Okay, a 1.
That kill really tied the party together.
I was waiting to use that one.
Oh, Jesus. So as you're kind of having this moment together, you turn, you hear something behind you, Quentin, and you turn to look. And you see Joven hanging from a noose in the center of the tunnel. Roll a wisdom saving throw, Quentin, as you see your friend hanging there.
Make sure to add 5. Add 5 to that.
What'd you get?
Because you're close to Raslin.
Yeah, you're within 10 feet of me. You get to add 5 to every saving throw.
Paladin.
13.
Gotta love those auras, baby.
13 total. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You look back and you're shocked. You don't go into like any sort of fear or anything like that. Like you don't, but you look at, you can see your friend hanging there. Just.
I'm gonna run over there.
Can I grab him? Am I right? Am I close enough behind him?
You're right behind him.
Wait, what are you doing?
I see our guy hanging. What's going on?
Havis, you look and you can see it as well.
Oh my god, I let him go and I run with him.
I'm gonna look behind me. Is Joven still behind me there?
You take a quick look back and you don't see Joven.
How did he get in front of us?
Something fishy going on in here.
Do you follow Raslin?
I'm gonna stand right there because last I knew, Joven was behind me. Well, we were basically facing each other with this monster between us. So I kind of head on a swivel, going, but they were right behind. He was right behind me here. Do I see Joven hanging from up there?
You look up and you can see as their two are racing forward that your friend Joven is hanging there as if put to death for some crime that he committed. The other two race up and you're just standing there, Raslin. Quentin and Havis race up and he's dangling there and you go to grab him, to hold him up or to give him some relief from the strangulation. And at that very same time, Raslin, you turn around and look backwards and you can see your friend Joven is standing right there. Quentin and Havis, as you go up and you wrap your arms around this vision of your friend, it just dissipates and it disappears.
Oh my word. We have just been had.
Havis, Quentin, Joven's back here still.
What's wrong with you all?
Dark energies and things are afoot here. We need to stay close.
Something fishy going on in here. I don't like it.
Havis would like to look for any traps or any kind of something we might have set off on the ground, thinking it's just like mechanical.
Okay, so Havis, you start to look around. Give me an investigation check. Joven, you're easily able to sort of climb over the body of this creature or drag it out of the way enough where you can be, reunited with your friends. You do see that they're down a little bit farther in the tunnel where there's a bit of an opening. So you can make your way if you want into that opening and have a little bit more of a sort of a conversation as you make your way into this area here. I don't have the map up on screen, but go ahead, Havis.
Havis rolled a 6 to look
6.
for those traps.
Yeah, you get down and you're looking about. You're looking on the walls. You're looking for pressure plates. All great ideas, but you don't see anything. There's nothing that you find that would lead you to believe that there was a trap.
Okay, I give up. What are you all doing? You're looking like you saw a ghost.
Well, we very well might have. We saw you.
You saw me.
Well, it clearly wasn't you. We were fooled in some way, but it's got to be playing with us. We saw you hanging up here.
Hanging.
Yes.
I don't remember being hung. I feel like I remember.
I feel like you would too. Yeah.
I hugged Joven. I'm like, I'm so glad you're okay, man. You disappeared.
Right.
And I hug over Quentin. So it's like a 3-way, just big hug.
I appreciate it, you two, but you know I'm not a hugger.
Oh.
Yeah, Raslin is just standing there, watching them hug. You do know there's a time and place for this.
Right.
Probably not those terrifying caves. It'd probably not be the best time to hug.
Oh, very sorry. I was overcome with emotion. I thought you were dead.
No, it's all right. I didn't want to get blood on y'all because I'm a bit cut up at the moment. So.
Well, here. How hurt are you right now?
Yeah, what do you look like? How does he look to them?
Well, he was looking pretty bad, and then he cast Cure Wounds on himself, and some of those wounds closed up. He's off by a little bit.
Could you use about 10 hit points?
Could.
All right. Raslin reaches over, puts a hand on the shoulder, and lay on hands. Touch hands for the NADPOD fans out there, and just heals up, gives you a little extra help there. There you are, my friend. Here, let's try to keep going as much as we can.
Yeah. Thanks. That feels a little better.
Of course.
All right. So you all saw me hanging. Did I see me hanging?
You didn't. You did not see
Okay.
it. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we got some kind of trickster. Great.
All right. Let us try to remember not to thrust our eyes.
Right. Well, I'm going to have to use my eyes to find that track again. That big sucker came around on us. I was not paying attention like I should have been. I grabbed the blood. I'm just going to, you three stay right there, and I'll just go back and look at where it came from and see if I can figure out what direction we should be going.
Joven, the last thing we probably want to do is split up in here.
No, just stay here, because, well, y'all are scaring me a bit, if I'm honest.
That's
All right.
Havis looks down at her feet,
Yeah. Anyway.
kind of awkwardly.
So, Joven, you are going to try to pick up the trail again?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Uh, 22.
Okay. So as you walk down this strange, uh, it's not worked stone. It doesn't seem like anything has like made this a stronghold. It just seems like these are natural tunnels through this rock, but you do eventually pick up with your keen eyesight and perception that there are tracks of this creature. The one that just came out of the dark and attacked you, you can start to see where it came from, and it guides you in a different direction.
All right, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can come on now. I found the trail again. If it's all the same, maybe Raslin, you take up the rear in case we get turned around again.
Of course, I'll keep an eye out behind us.
And Havis, you can go in front of me, but I'll keep an eye out too, so we don't run into this again.
It's very smart. You are a very smart Furbolg.
As the four of you begin to walk down the corridor together in your marching order, there is this strong, bone-chilling gust of wind that blows from the behind you towards the direction that you're moving. It kind of blows past you, and all of your cloaks and any clothing that's sort of flapping around. Your beards, if you have them, are blown by the wind. Clothing that's not affixed maybe to your head, if you have a hat on or something, gets blown off. And you hear this howling, enormously guttural roar from behind you. Not directly behind you, but down the tunnel from behind you. Just this just echoes, and this gust of wind pushes you.
Yep.
What do you do? How do you respond to that?
So it came from behind us, so the wind kind of hit me first, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, but I do believe we know the direction we probably don't want to go, but probably should be headed.
Well, maybe that's something other than what we're looking for.
The tracks are going ahead of us. What?
You make the call, Raslin. You're the evil smiter and all, but I'd like to know where these creatures are coming from. If whatever that is back there, devil, you do know, you know.
Of course. I'm going to cast Divine Sense again. Kind of try to get a... Well, we know there's evil and stuff down here, but try to at least get a direction, sort of.
Okay. So you sense evil in all directions, both heading in the direction that you're going and from behind you.
Yeah.
And it's a strong. It's pinging hard. It's in the red.
Yep.
Does it seem to be pinging in one direction harder than the other, or is it just sort of like you guys are screwed, sort of thing? Okay.
It's all around you, basically. Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
That does not give us a direction to go. It's not obvious which way we should go, right? I mean, we should just continue.
Best to keep going forward.
They always come at us from behind. Why is that?
Well, mostly because they're cowards, but also they're undead, so they don't really go for that courage stuff.
That is fair. Stay close. Oh.
Lead the way. I shall watch our backs.
Right.
Okay, so you're back on the trail and you continue on. And as I mentioned before, there are multiple passageways that branch off from the main stem that you are walking along. Whoever is doing the tracking, give me another survival check. These are a series of skill checks to see how long it takes you to find what you're looking for. So
So if
else
I'm
want to roll this
aiding,
one?
if I'm aiding Havis,
Maybe I should aid you. You seem to be a lot
Oh.
better at this.
yeah, probably.
Okay.
If that
Yeah, you would roll with advantage then.
did you see that one right there?
Ooh, there's my first natural 20.
Ooh, very nice.
Let me just add up that total because that's gonna
Yeah.
be 33.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
And you just got an advantage from Silver Red Fox Gaming. Thank you very much. Nicely done. So yeah, you can see the tracks and they are distinct now. You've got the search image in your mind. When together, the two of you are doing a really good job of tracking. As you continue on deeper and deeper, the dwarf of the group can sense that you're continuing to move deeper into the mountains, away from the entrance, even though the rest of you may not be able to
I'm good.
notice that. Well, yeah, you're a spelunking furbolg. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. You're like half dwarf or something. There's like a dwarf in your lineage like years ago or something.
My mother's
Generations.
cousin's second brother.
That's what it is. I love that.
Yeah.
You guys come to a fork in the tunnel, and you stop to try to analyze which way to go. You can see plainly that the tracks go in both directions. It's almost as if they split, so that there are tracks of these creatures. And you're starting to see now that there are more than one of these things that have been moving about, because there's tracks on top of tracks. You listen for a moment and you can hear this this haggard breathing, this deep breathing coming from the left fork.
I don't suppose that's one of those heroes that came up here before us.
Or it's one of those things that we've been fighting and getting birthed.
We should go that way, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, last time I checked, it was evil all around us, so I'm afraid that any sort of divine sense I might do might probably not help very much at this point.
That's all right. I'm just gonna notch an arrow just in case.
All right, so you begin to lead the group down the corridor towards the haggard breathing sounds, and as you do, the breathing gets louder. And it gets louder and louder as you continue creeping forward. Everybody roll a perception check for me.
Oof, 1. 7.
Okay.
14.
14 from Quentin. Joven, what'd you get?
23.
Wow. And Raslin?
13.
Okay. Joven, you get the sense that this breathing, while it's getting louder, it also continues to draw you forward as if it's moving away from you. But it's also getting louder as if you're getting closer to it. So it's as if maybe there's whatever the source of it is moving in a direction away from you.
All right.
Well, they're either being dragged or it's an actual trap.
Or they're just moving.
Or they're moving, and that is possible, yes.
You could try to pick up the pace to close the distance and try to catch up to it if you wanted to.
All right, we're going to speed up a little bit, everybody. Here we go.
Okay, so you start making your way at a little bit, 1.5 times speed maybe, trying to get there as quickly as possible, but without putting yourself in some weird situation. And it gets louder and louder. Everybody roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
with a +5 right there, Rosalind.
Yeah, if you're within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Wisdom save.
Dirty 20.
So 25 for Joven.
10.
You get to a point and Joven, you're in front, right? And you
Yeah.
just stop dead in your tracks. Complete silence. Everybody else kind of like Scooby Doo's it into, boop, 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 into bumping into the back of you. You hear nothing.
Well, sir, that's strange.
So one might then say we don't trust our ears either. How do we do this?
I'm pretty sure we're just not trusting anything.
Are we still going down
I
in this
think so.
direction?
Roll a survival check, and I would say with disadvantage, since you're not really unless you're a spelunking cat.
I'm a Tomb Raider cat, but no. 10.
Hard to tell
For me.
if you're going down or up. The only one who really has a sense of it is the dwarf. Quentin, you can tell that you're still moving farther and farther away from the entry point. And you can tell also that you are indeed moving down, but at certain times you've gone up as well. So it's not like a floor of a building per se. It's more like you're going up and down, and there's angles and they're gradual, and sometimes there's like almost these unnatural steps that aren't really steps, but they're you kind of go up onto a shelf of something and pull yourself up. So it's kind of all over the place.
Definitely a maze of some sort. It's designed to mess with us.
Havis, one thing that you do realize as you look down, the tracks are not there.
Joven, we've been fooled again.
No, I don't think so this time. I think you saw back there when the trails split, right? I think the trails is just another way of messing with us. So I don't think they're going to lead us anywhere helpful.
Rosalind is going to go, this is getting ridiculous. They're going to take their sword, kind of hold it up to their face, mutter something, a prayer under their breath, and cast See Invisibility.
Oh.
So for the next hour, I can see invisible things, invisible creatures and objects as if they were invisible. And I can even see ethereal creatures and objects if I can see into the ethereal plane. So
Okay.
I'm going to look around from doing this where we had stopped and heard that sound. Do I see anything in that room now?
I like that.
Roll a perception check, and just to clarify, that's a concentration spell, correct?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
It's one of my Watcher Paladin class things. So
That's
it's
cool.
Not a, yeah, I was sitting here going, I can pull this out at some point, and of course I get a +0 to perception. So
That's okay.
well, we're going to use my inspiration. Thanks, Blake.
There you
I
go.
rolled a 6. That's a 10.
10 total. Okay, so you look about and your eyes kind of have this kind of greenish blue sheen as you manifest this power, and you look about and you can see like these wisps of something, almost like you're in this sort of like ethereal wind tunnel. You can't feel breeze or wind or anything, but just these little wisps of green go past you in the opposite direction.
Direction?
Back from the way
Or
you
they all
came.
back the way we came. Friends, we are surrounded right now. Wisps of some sort. But they're heading back the way we came.
Wait
Was
a
this
minute. You-
the evil that you sensed? I wonder.
It's dreadful. Although I don't know if you still have the the divine sense. I think that's a shorter period of time, isn't it?
It just says to the end of your next turn, so that probably wore off.
Yeah.
But now here's a question. In using both the see invisibility and the divine sense in conjunction with each other somehow, would it possibly give me a hint of whether these things specifically are evil?
Possibly.
I mean,
it could. Do you have another use of the divine sense?
Yeah, I've got 4 more uses of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not 100% sure, but it's possible that it could.
Yeah, I'll burn it to try to get that sense of that these wisps, if they're evil, if these are the evil when I've been feeling, if try to use them in conjunction with each other.
Okay. Yeah, as you harness that divine sense, that extrasensory perception, if you will, you can see these otherwise invisible wisps of energy, these greenish energies that are moving past you. As you look at them with the divine sense, you get this deep, deep feeling of dread that washes over you. And now you can see, almost as if the divine energy that you conjured is having an effect on these wisps, you can see that they start to form into heads that have these pointed ears and these long noses and this toothy maw. They're like looking at you and like smiling or grimacing or scowling as they fly past you. And it just lasts for that that 6 seconds of divine sense. But yeah, you get a sense that this is evil.
As soon as they start doing that, I'm going to do a Word of Radiance cantrip and just surround myself with burning radiance erupts from me. Do they seem to? Yeah, I get super shiny all of a sudden. And does that seem to? I mean, if you want, they're supposed to take a con saving throw, but does that seem to burn them away somewhat?
Yeah, I'm not even going to roll for it. But as you activate that, how long does that last for? And paladins are awesome. One action, so 6 seconds. Yeah, as you activate, the tunnel illuminates with this radiant light, and you can see, because you've got the invisibility going, that they almost like burn in radiance as they come through. They're just like trying to fly through, but they turn to like almost like ash, but it's like an ephemeral or ethereal ash, and it just blows away. It lasts for 6 seconds as you burn dozens of these things as they're flying past.
I am
sorry about that. I should have warned you. It's going to get a little bright.
I've seen you do that before, but not when I had my dark vision on. Damn.
Again, I apologize. I was trying something out. So these wisps were surrounded by. When I channeled my divinity, they suddenly started turning into these creatures' heads, and they were snarling at us. And
wait, but you said wisps. But they're
wispy, ethereal sort of. They're not. I know they're.
I see.
But they're ethereal, wispy things.
Oh, I was thinking if it was Fae, we'd be way more screwed than we are now.
Oh, if we were Fae, that's why I'm here. I mean, there's something. But they are, let's just say, they're heading the way we just came. I can see which way they're going. And they're not good, because with the whole radiance there, I was trying to see if they were evil, they would have burned up. And as well, you can't see, but I can see. They were annihilated. So I have a feeling we probably want to go the way they're going, so we can get to wherever they're headed, apparently.
Okay. I track. This seems kind of like that time, with the what was it again? A hag? I don't remember what you did with her. Anyway, this seems similar.
There was a lot of screaming. Some of it was from her. I think a little bit was from me. I don't know. My bad.
Yeah, you were pissed again, so
A lot of it was from yeah, to be fair, a lot of it was from you. But on the other hand, you did burn most of that village down. I mean, but hey, we at least took care of the hag for them. I mean,
Right. Right.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so then Razin, why don't you go first since you can see him, and then
Sounds good.
Havish, you go behind him, cover him, and then Quentin, you're behind Havish, and well, hell, I guess I'm in the back again. Didn't work out quite so well the first time, but we'll be on our toes this time.
We are more aware of what is going on now
Right.
than we were before. So yes. Yeah, I feel better about this now.
Cheers to that.
Yes, let's go.
So
And
Tell me what you're going to attempt to do here. You're going to attempt to backtrack essentially to where you lost the tracks?
backtrack and or follow the way that the wisps are going.
Okay. So
Since I
are
can
you going to
see
lead the
left-
way, Raslin? You're going to lead the way now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So give me a survival check as you are following these wisps through the tunnels.
So close. It almost hit that 20. About 14.
14. Okay. You follow them for the better part of an hour. Eventually your see invisible spell fades. You have been, and the rest of you would notice this, Raslin is just kind of marching forward, looking and trying to maneuver his way through this labyrinth of tunnels. The rest of you can see that there's tunnels that go off in multiple directions that you didn't notice before. It's just this spider web of tunnels that work their way through this rock, this bedrock. And it's, as a dwarf, you're not sure how that could be. Originally you thought maybe there was, a water feature that may have eroded the rock and then spilled out of the fissure into the valley and down to the coastline. But now you're thinking that there's something else possibly working the stone in some supernatural way. It just doesn't seem right. It's almost as if the stone itself shifts in response to some of your movement through the space itself. Razin, you lose the see invisibility. The wisps disappear from view. Let's see. Everybody else roll just a straight perception check for me.
As soon as the invisibility ends, Raslin just stops.
Okay.
Freezes.
17 for Havis.
Okay.
Same for Joven.
Okay.
13.
All right. So you guys watch as Raslin comes to a stop, and as you walk up to meet up with him, you see him before he stops walking. His foot goes down on one of the stones that's sort of jutting out from the dust, and you hear a click as his foot sinks down. Let's see. This releases several boulders from the ceiling above that fall down on you. I need
Oh man.
Razin, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please. As you look up, you hear the click, you feel the click, you look up and these boulders are falling. The rest of you come up and then you're stand back as these things fall from the ceiling towards your friend.
18.
19? All right, that is a success. You dive out of the way, but you are crushed by some of the rock that falls down. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the damage and you'll take half.
Ah! That's my
Oh,
crushed
shit.
sound.
That's...
Never good when the DM says that.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
That's worse.
That either.
You take 14. You would have taken 29 damage, but you take 14 bludgeoning damage as the rocks fall from the ceiling on top of you.
Well, that happened.
Ow!
And it blocks the way forward at this juncture.
We have been going around in circles. There's got to be another way to get to where we need to go.
Yes, there's gotta be.
Well, maybe I should go first and look for traps. starting now? Starting right now?
Usually when there's a trap in the middle of a hallway like this, doesn't that usually mean they're stopping you from going that way?
Well, they did a good job because
They did a great job.
Yes,
getting
I'm
through there.
well aware of that. It was not fun.
Well, I reckon most times getting crushed by rocks ain't fun.
It's not the first time, and unfortunately, it probably won't be the last, but lead the way, I suppose.
Well, Havis, what do you think? Checking for traps is one thing, but just wandering around here in the dark eventually is going to wear thin, and we can find as many traps as we want. So,
Do I have the sense that we've like really gone over the same path multiple times, or like at least once or twice? You know, like my thought is maybe we should
yeah.
leave breadcrumbs or something.
You could do that. You could do that as you move forward. Go ahead and roll a perception check. If you want to roll a perception check, you can. Do you have like chalk or anything in your pack? You could maybe start marking the walls or something like that.
so we might have something better than that, because I am an outlander, and I can always recall the general layout of terrain. So whatever you want to do with that.
I also have mold earth. I can make stuff in the walls. I can make
There you go.
arrows and pluses.
Well, if it's a matter of marking the walls, and Razzler just raises up one of their gauntlets of odor power and just punches a hole in the wall and be like, I can just do this too. We can mark the walls if we need to.
The wall kind of splits and cracks and a bunch of stone falls down. It's pretty loud, but it works.
Yeah. Do you remember at the beginning we wanted to be a little quiet? This might not be. I mean, it was effective, yes, but
A while ago when we weren't wandering aimlessly through caves following sparkling wispy things, and now I can't see. Apparently they didn't do anything for us, so
All right. Just slow it down, Roslyn.
sorry,
I know.
not a big fan of caves. I apologize.
I know this brings back bad memories of that orc shaman that we won't talk about. I said I wouldn't talk about it. I'm sorry.
There was a lot of screaming from the shaman and some from me too.
you do a lot of screaming. It's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not quite sure about all of that, but
Anyway, look, we gotta pick a. I know we haven't really been going in circles. More like it's changing around us at the same, all at once. So there ain't really any pattern to it. So I think my best guess is we pick a direction and we go, and we check for traps as we go, and we just go, and we try to make it as quiet and as quick as possible. So
lead the way.
I don't know how to find traps so much, but
Between your ability to navigate and Havis's ability to find traps, and Quentin, you care to keep an eye out back here with me?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
So who's going to be leading? It's going to be Havis, and then Joven, and then Quentin, and then last is Raslin.
mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
And I will be going as efficiently as possible, factoring in speed and looking for traps.
Okay. All right. So
With a mindset of going in the same direction. We need to pick a direction, though. I guess it is not back towards the wall that just collapsed, but we should pick a direction. I will do my best to go that way.
Right. You go ahead and pick it. It's as good as any of us picking.
I guess we are surrounded by evil. Is that correct?
Yeah.
pretty much. All right. So you start leading the way, Havis, and you start making your way efficiently but carefully down this corridor At times it widens a bit and then it narrows again. And sometimes you kind of have to, at least Joven, you kind of have to like squeeze yourself through narrow points. Razlin, at the back of the order, as you go through one of these narrow points and you watch your companions squeeze through, the dwarf kind of disappears in front of you as you prepare to squeeze through. You feel an ice cold breath on the back of your neck, and then a whisper uncomfortably close to your pointed half-elven ear. Don't look behind you. You hear, along with that, a pounding heartbeat. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Oh.
Does anybody have a snack? I'm getting hungry.
I got one of the eggs left.
Yeah, the rest of you are continuing on.
17.
17. All right, so you are not, you do not become overcome with like a fear to the extent where it stops you from moving, but you kind of put your hand up on the wall in front of you where you have to squeeze through, and you just hear this heartbeat behind you.
I'm going to go, there's something behind us. Do that word of radiance again.
Okay.
So if it's within, it's a cantrip, so if it's within, I have to be, if I have to see it, so never mind.
It is
actually,
like
yeah,
uncomfortably close to you. Like it's right whispering in your ear.
Razlin's going to turn around. You know, he wasn't trained to listen to the orders given to him by undead and whatnot, so he's going to turn around. First thing he sees, he's going to cast Word of Radiance.
For a brief moment, you see this face, this shadowy face, right when you turn around, it's like right in your face. And you activate Word of Radiance, and it is immediately gone. And it's just darkness, just the tunnel. It lights up with that light from your divine Word of Radiance, but then whatever was there is gone. And the rest of you see the glow from behind you. And that's when you realize, oh shit, where's Razlin?
Yeah. Well, he said that Joven looked back just in time to get the blinding flash. God damn it.
Razlin crawls through the tunnel, probably, you know, like an old flash bulb. After it goes, it probably takes a couple, you know, like a split second to kind of tone down, kind of crawls through that hole and goes, oh, I yelled in here. There was something behind us. I told me not to turn around. And so, of course, I did. And whatever was there disappeared on us. So.
Right. Well, as soon as my dark vision comes back.
We can wait a second.
Oh, man. Twice. That's twice now. Oh.
I lean over and whisper in Joven's ear, "That's 0 for me. I haven't blinded you at all."
Can you even do that?
If I could, I wouldn't. Or I would warn you. It's as simple as that.
Oh, well, that's true, I guess. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Let's keep going, y'all.
All right, as you continue on, whoever's leading will need to give me a survival check to maintain your ability to find your path. You guys should start succeeding on some of these.
Maybe we should have
I thought my
Joven
30 is okay.
You have one success and 2 failures so far.
Oh no.
Could we do a thing where Joven watches? Well, we're not really looking at tracks anymore, right? I mean, we're just going and we're looking for.
But I can aid
You're trying not
in
to set off
survival.
traps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my main.
Yeah,
job.
roll with advantage. You'll get some help from Joven.
Okay. This is perception, right?
Survival.
Survival. Okay, so good. That was an 8. Oh, very good. That second one was a 1. So 8 is the best I can do.
An 8?
Yes.
Oh my god. All right. Roll a perception check.
I'm just gonna go back out. 10.
Okay. A 10?
I'm not doing great here.
Who's right behind Havis? Joven.
There can't
Okay.
be 2 traps. Maybe you should just do this.
As you're walking forward, Joven, you're trying to help. You're like, I don't see anything here. What's that? You're like, and then you hear just like, and Havis begins to fall. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, Havis, as you have lost your footing, and there is a pitfall trap in front of you that you are falling
Hey, but something
into.
different. Okay.
Yeah, you're hitting all the. I mean, this is a true playtest. You guys are hitting all of the stuff.
Do I see her fall?
21.
Okay,
'Cause
so
I don't
21.
fall.
You reach out,
Rogue
you're like
dex
this. You reach out and you grab onto Joven, and you're just kind of like leaning over, like whoa, and you pull yourself back.
That was a trap.
You found it. Good job.
This pitfall trap, as you look down, it is lined with spikes. It would most certainly have done massive amounts of damage to you if you had fallen into it. Not only that, it probably would have done damage as you were pulled out of it. Ugh.
Whereas I pulled Joven down with me.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Didn't happen.
Nope, you didn't. You're able to not trigger it, but that was another failure.
You know, I don't mean to be mean to anybody in particular, but I'm just thinking out loud. But when Ryslin led, he got boulders dropped on him. When Havis, you led and you just almost died. And then, well, Quentin, I don't mean to be mean, but I want you leading us. So I think I'm just going to take the lead on this one. And, well, let's just move on. If that's all right with everyone.
I'm going to be right behind you this time. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Let's switch it up.
What's the worst that could happen at this point, honestly?
Hey, if you decide to fall in a hole, I'll
so.
feather for you. You'll be fine.
Right. All right. And then Havis, you can have Roslin's back if anything comes up and bites him.
I do not mind switching our course of action. That is not working with me being here. So that is fine with me. Absolutely fine, in fact. And I back up, switch back to number 3, I guess.
Okay. So you switch up the progression a little bit, and you continue forward. And as you go about 10 minutes or so deeper into this cave system, you start to see a faint glow up ahead, kind of shimmering some light through the cavern system. And Joven, as the leader at this point, you come around a bend in the rock tunnel, and you see this light doing this kind of like backlighting. But what's more troubling is that there is this tall, gangling shadow that is blocking some of the dim glow, standing absolutely still, blocking your path. And you just hear this and this kind of chittering sound.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Along with
Don't like either of those things.
what do you do?
All right. Everyone. Be prepared. We got something in front of us.
Are we sure it's not just another trick? We've heard that crying before. I'm not afraid.
Right. All right, let's go.
You take a few
I
steps
say from-
forward,
Uh-huh.
and as you do, the entire tunnel goes 100% dark. Even with your night vision, you cannot see anything. It's total darkness.
So magical darkness?
Yes. A
Okay.
magical darkness overtakes the tunnel.
This is advanced darkness.
Well, damn.
After a couple of seconds of realization of what's happening, you hear almost as if something is click-clacking and skittering along the ceiling, the walls, as coming closer to you. It's about 20 feet out. And it's 15 feet away from you.
Let's back up. Let's back up, back in.
Now it's 10 feet away from you.
I'm gonna start backing up.
Close your eyes.
You start backing up, making your way back away from it.
Kind of. Everyone, quick behind me! Joven, cover your eyes. As soon as that sound gets within 5 feet of me, boom, word of radiance. Set off the flashbulb at it.
Flashbulb goes off. The chittering, the sobbing, everything goes absolutely silent. There's nothing there after you
Is it still
blast
dark in
out
there,
this.
though?
What's that?
Is it still like we can't see anything,
No,
or did that kind of?
as the light it goes up and illuminates and then comes back down to normal, you can see again as if you have your dark vision.
Right.
Wow, that was weird.
Officially, I'm just gonna make it official. I don't like this place.
No.
All right, let's keep going. Them spooks aren't gonna stop, so we shouldn't either.
We're here to vanquish the evil. Let's vanquish it.
I mean, if I need to cast that every 5 feet we walk to try to keep whatever's coming towards us away, let me know. But I'll take up the rear again in case somebody tries to sneak up on us back here. Please lead the way, my friend.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Joven, you're going to take the lead again. Give me another survival check. If you have advantages, you might want to use them. If somebody wants to help you, that you can get an advantage from that way.
Probably not gonna need it. That's 28.
Okay. You travel for a while, as you do, you start to feel as though you are now descending. Everybody can feel it. You're descending rather steeply. There appear to be fewer and fewer offshoot paths. You can see plainly on the ground in front of you that you're following the tracks of those creatures and probably some other smaller creatures that might be on top of those tracks and sometimes underneath those tracks. But this is you're on a kind of a main path right now.
This feels much better than what we've been doing.
Yeah, I like it somewhat better.
I'm not as scared. I think we are doing good. I feel really good about this.
As you say that,
Yeah.
That is not
As-
how things work.
as you say that, you come around the corner in this place, and Joven, you are the one in front, and you can see before you there is another glow. This sort of almost like an ethereal glow, a bluish green, and it's just kind of standing there. It's sort of like almost as if it's in the water, and it looks like a humanoid form, and it sort of floats towards you. And you can see that it is in the shape of a man. And I'll bring up the, if you look on the stream, you'll see this human man who has these bloodshot red eyes and just sort of like this ghostly hair that's almost, like I said, as if it was in water. And in this case, he's got like these overalls on, and it's not in the picture, but he's got one of those helmets on with like the candle lantern light on the front of it. And he approaches you and says, "Why?" And that, my friends, is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
As you have encountered something different in the caves that is
Yay.
more threatening than some of the tricks of the hauntings that you've encountered. So we will figure out what the heck this guy wants when we come back next week. Wow, you guys almost hit every single one of the playtest options for those tables because you kept failing your survival checks. So we'll have a lot of good feedback for Christian.
We're glad that we could help thoroughly test all of these things.
That's right. That is the
Yeah.
point of this game. We are the playtesters, and we're up against the Skull Fort on this particular game. Thank you to these awesome players for playing tonight and for being willing to test out this new material. And we will be providing that information and some feedback to Christian. Before we leave, I would love to go back around the table, give you guys an opportunity to reintroduce yourselves, replug whatever it is that you're promoting. You've got some great stuff going on, and then we will go ahead and do a raid. So stick with us, folks. We're just going to kind of close it out here. Let's go ahead and start with Aaron. Let's start with you this time.
Hello, Aaron. Hit me up on Instagram at Complete Diagram Studios. I make nerd stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. Tim.
Tim, you can find me on Twitter as Flan Blackmore, plugging Dead Channel Studios Kingdom Builder mod for 5e. Also, Adventure Slang Productions, their new game, New of Arden, which will be on this channel, playtesting very shortly. Also, and I just forgot, even though I did it on Friday, if you want to check out Rainbows and Razor Blades channel, we just finished our first season of Cyberpunk Red with a extremely crazy twist for my character in particular, who is my first ever intentional murder hobo.
Okay, very cool. Vamp.
Hey everyone, Chad, Vamp Wickman on the socials. Just glad to be here. Thanks, Dave, for running this.
My pleasure.
Thanks, CZRPG, for the game. Again, I'll be at GaryCon in March. Hope to see many of you there. If anybody wants to DM, please reach out to myself, and I can give you more information about that and the advantages of doing that, and all the kickbacks and all the goodness of being part of that. And yeah.
Thank you, Vamp. Really glad you're here. And let's jump over to Shelly. Shelly, first time I've had a chance to DM for you. A total delight. Glad that you joined us. Super, super fun to have this table here. Tell us who you are and what you've got going on.
well, hi, I'm Shelly. Thanks again for inviting me. This is super fun, and I love to do this playtesting thing. This is great. I have nothing cool to plug yet, but inspired by all of you cool pluggers, I will hopefully have something next week when we play. I'm Flea Monkey on the chats, by the way.
Nice. Yeah, and if you want to hang out and get to know some of these folks, maybe get involved with some of our games, I highly recommend that you hop in and join our Discord. A lot of cool people hanging out in there, talking about games, getting nerdy, and then a lot of the folks that end up playing in our, especially like our Monday Night Mayhem game, and others are folks that we've connected with in the Discord. So thank you all for being here again. My name's Dave. You guys know me. I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thanks for the raids, Time Lord's Wife and others. Thank you for the cheering. Thank you for all of the support that you've given us as we just play games and try to do good things, be heroic at the table and be heroic in real life. That's what we're all about. So thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and raid into our buddy Phoenix Wacky. Make sure that you come back here tomorrow night because we do have a very, very special Vassin 2-shot starting, and that is led by none other than the Bleak season. It's going to be absolutely epic, spooky, scary, and very Halloween themed. It's based on some writings by Edgar Allan Poe. You guys are going to freaking love it. So come back and hang out with us. We're going to raid into Phoenix Awaki, a buddy of ours who's playing some Dungeons and Dragons. It looks like they're exploring some caverns as well. Go figure, dungeons. That's kind of the name of the game. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.